Okay, every right, everyone here? Not yet. I think let me just look the numbers of students that already here in the platform. Good morning, everyone. Okay, it's not yet 100% numbers of students that already here in this platform, right? Okay, it's okay then. Let me just share the attendance first. All right, let me just share the attendance first before we start our lecture today. All right. Normally I will take attendance. Not necessary at the beginning of the class. Yeah? It depends. It depends. Sometimes in the middle of the class, sometimes at the end of the class. So it depends. So for today, I'm going to take attendance at the beginning of the class, all right? So for those who are latecomers, no problem, no issue. But what I will do at the end of the class, all right? The students need to take attendance once again, right? Normally, I might ask question during that time to ensure that actually the student understand what being taught in the class, all right? Okay, so whatever it is, please consult with me, all right? Consult with me if you're having difficulties to take your attendance, as well as to understand what had been taught, as well as what I will teach you today, all right? So while waiting for more number students to join us today, let me just share the attendance platform. Right, tomorrow in Malaysia, we will celebrate Malaysian Day. Yeah, Malaysia Day, 16 September, right? 16 September, and that's the reason as well I'm using this background. Yeah, it's not that a common background of APU, all right? Just to acknowledge that tomorrow we will have our Malaysia Day. For local student, I believe what means by Malaysia Day, especially those in Sabah and Sarawak, I think you appreciate Malaysia Day more, all right? Compared to Merdeka, but of course, if not because of Merdeka, we are not going to have our Malaysia Day, right? Okay, so for those who are not our Malaysian students, for your information, tomorrow Malaysia Day is actually to remark the dates where Sabah, Sarawak, and at that time is Tanah Melayu, or we call it Malaya, actually combining together into Malaysia Baru, all right? Or New Malaysia, we call it that time. All right, so let me just check the attendance. If you got questions related to the last week class, please ask question, right? Before we add on more topics, yeah, more topics related to this module. Okay, you all L3, right? L3 lecture proceed. Okay, let me just share. Come on. Okay, so I will get a name that actually in the class today. So easy for me to call up your name later on in case I want to ask question. All right, there you go. Please take your attendance first while waiting for more number students to join us today. All right. Don't worry if you're not able to take it. Yeah, I will just, now it's 10:47 on my side. My time is 10:47. I will just display it until 10:50. Then we will start our class. Right? Now my time is 10:47. I will display it until 10:50 a.m. Then we'll start our class. All right? Then we'll start our class. So wait first. Yeah, for more number students to join us today. Right. Yeah, wait for some. All right, class done, yeah, 10:50. Now I'm going to switch the, all right, who is it? Irene. Okay, Irene, hold on, Irene. I'll take your attendance. Okay. Okay, later I will update again. So just now, who just messaged me? Irene. Oh, it is present already, Irene. It's present. Okay. All right. So done. So present already. Second, it's present. All right. Okay. So we proceed. Next one, you can see the slides on the screen, right? You can see the slides on the screen. Review of the core of the, review of core concepts. That will be our very first chapter, right? But we'll do it in second week, all right? Don't worry if you ask me, Miss, is it we will be left behind if we start our lecture in week number 2 for chapter number 1. And don't worry, as I mentioned to you last week, we are having only nine chapters. Am I right? We are having only 9 chapters. And that's the reason why no issue to complete it within 14 weeks time. All right, I repeat, no issue to complete all the syllabus within 14 weeks time. Yeah, even I will include some of the assignment clinics. What is assignment clinic? It's actually to guide you on how to do assignment, but no worry as well, because assignment I will only release it in week number 4. Means another 2 weeks to go. Okay, all right. So what is it we need to review about network? All right, what is it to be reviewed about network before we can proceed to next week chapter, that is wireless infrastructure. Okay, next week we will focus more on wireless. But then I do not want you to have these perceptions. I do not want you to have this perception where when we learn about mobile and wireless, it will be truly, or it will be 100% wireless. No, all right? Even when you learn in introductions to network, all right, the fundamental means the fundamental of wired infrastructure. Yeah, what is it? Wired network infrastructure. Anyone can tell me? If I ask you about wired network infrastructure, can anyone explain to me what is it? Wired network infrastructure, the one without wireless. Can anyone tell me? Give me an example. Should I call up name? All right, should I call up name? Okay, are Jenny here? Are Jenny here or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. You can either type or you can either answer. What's your understanding about wired network infrastructure? Maybe you can give example. Right, Mohin here answered voice over internet. How about you, Jenny?
Network infrastructure that requires a wire to connect, right?
Wire to connect. Maybe you can give a specific examples.
Like maybe, oh, say computer network in a lab, and like there's
All right.
about 12, and then you have to connect to the server using wires.
Yes, very good. Okay, very good, Ajani. Thank you for your answer. Yes, we can see a very clear wired network infrastructure available in APU lab or in any computers lab where every PC or every desktop available in that particular lab connected to the servers. Yeah, but then Ajani, if you look at the real concept, it will be connected to the switch first. Am I right? And the switch will connect to another server, or a switch will connect to another switch where that switch will be connecting all the servers together. Do you still remember about subnetting concept? Do you still
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
about subnetting concept, where we can have subnets based on location, subnets based on a type of devices to be connected to, and also subnets based on subunits or department. Do you still remember that, class? Remember, right? Yeah, and that's the reason why different subnet will have different wired network infrastructure to be connected to the router interface. Yes or no? Router interface or switch interface when I talk about subnet? Class, when I talk about subnet, is it the network connecting to the router interface or switch interface? Mohin and Abir, I will come to your answer later on. Anyone? When we want to
Router
talk
interface, right?
router interface? Yes. All right. Yes, correct, Ajani. You are right. It's a router interface. That's why in introductions to network, even in networks and networking, if I ask students to count how many subnets based on certain network design, you know what they did? They count how many switches. That is wrong. So let's say if you have one router connecting two different switches, so that is two subnets, right? Okay, never mind. That is part of the basic or fundamental in intro to networking that you need to maintain, that you need to remember until today or until when you need to work, right? Okay, Mohin here answered about voice over internet protocol. Even Abir also answered about internet service provider, broadband provider. Yes, your answer is more on technology. Yeah, your answer is more on technology. What I'm expecting, maybe you can give a specific example to explain the wireless router available in every home premises is actually wiredly connected to the internet service provider regional equipment, for example. Okay. Or you can simply say printer at our home actually connected, to the switch available at our home. Right? Class, I want you to answer based on your basic understanding. Yeah, sometimes when you answer yes, it's true, you will come up with different terms, different technology, but appreciate more if you can give a specific answer. Remember, all right? Okay, relate. Like Ajani just now, yes, she did mention how is it related to the PC in labs, connected to the server, right? Okay, that's one of the examples, specific example. All right, thank you very much for those who participate in the meeting chat as well as in the audio. All right, we move on to the next one. All right, so that's the reason why we still need to have wired instead of fully or 100% wireless. And it's not only because of the nature of 100% wireless is not able to be achieved, but it's because of the nature of what we learn in OSI reference model. And another model, if you still remember, is TCP/IP. Am I right? That's another model, correct or not? We already learned it having 4 layers, but OSI model is 7 layers. No issue, either you understand OSI or either you understand TCP/IP. The way it works is actually similar. It's just that TCP/IP supports more specifically for internet or public network. But when we talk about OSI, it's more on other than internet. Like we can have like a printer network, we can have like a Bluetooth network, right? We can have just a simple file sharing network. That one we refer to OSI. But if it's internet, then you need to refer to TCP/IP model. All right. And another thing, why we need to review the core concept is not only to relate with OSI reference model, but also we need to see the availability of network devices belongs to different layers in OSI. And even these network devices also not only wired, some of it will be wireless later on, correct? Yeah. So I don't want you to have a perception that, oh, if wireless must be in certain layer. No. All right. The devices, yeah, in nowadays network, it can be both. You may be surprised before this, to be honest, before, yeah, I graduate from my degree level, all right, there's no such thing of wireless router, you know. But now, oh my God, we already have it in place. And even the wonderful thing about wireless router, we can have it in every home premises nowadays. And even the idea of having access point as well, wireless, yeah, access point wireless. It's not, if you look at it, oh, access point immediately in your mind, wireless. But then did you away access point actually still having a wired connections to be connected to where? Access point class. Access point normally we connect wiredly to where? Access point. Anyone can answer this question. Access point. What do you think? We can connect it wiredly to where? Access point normally we connect wiredly to where?
Is it switch?
Very good. Who is it? Abir, is it? All right. Thank you very much. Correct. Switch. That's the reason why. If you look at the APU environment, once I'm not sure how many. I think there are some numbers of students actually in APU accommodation. All right. If you got chance, you just use any wireless site survey when you. All right. Sorry. Is it breaking? Still breaking? Is it? Okay. Let me know, Abdul Rahman, if it's still breaking. Then I switch my connection. All right. Okay. So some of you said it's clear. Here clear. All right. So no worries, Abdul Rahman. Sometimes yes, it's breaking. It's not only because of my side, but it might be because of the internet connection on your side. All right. So it's confirmed. Some of you said it's clear. Some of you said not clear. All right. So no issue. Okay. No problem. So okay. So I proceed where my just now. I'm talking about yes. Access point, if you are in APU campus, if you got opportunity to conduct wireless survey in future, right? If you got opportunity, you may realize that there are many access point available in our APU environment. You may surprise in one lab, even you go to one what we call it, you go to one floor, you know, one floor. On certain block like block D, block B, you may surprise the access point on that particular one floor, only one floor. I'm not talking about 5 floor, 6 floor, no, only one particular floor. When you conduct wireless site survey in APU, you may surprise the numbers of access point. And from there, you may realize that it's actually our switches connect, the switches available in each floor connect to connect to many access point, not only connecting to the router, not only connecting to the printer, not only connecting to the server. All right. I believe you already learned in Intro to Networking how networks must efficiently use the switches. All right. How the networks must efficiently use the router, right? How many of you think that, I still remember when the first time I'm teaching Intro to Networking, normally the first few weeks of IN or the first few weeks of networks and networking, students confused. When should I use switch? When should I use router? All right. So again, to be honest, in this module also, you might confuse. You might confuse. Some students say, Miss, there's no point to use switch at my home, right? In order to go for work from home. Why you don't want to use switch? Because I already have a wireless router. All right. So why you're saying that it's already enough? Because wireless router is a combination of switch, combination of router, and combination of, what's another one? Access point. Yes, it's true. Nowadays, wireless router at home is hybrid 3-in-1 compares to the router that we have in APU. So that's the reason why the nature of work from home relies so much on wireless router at home cannot be as good as the one that we have in organization, because organization router serve its function as router, fully utilized for router, switch fully utilized as switch. There's no such thing of hybrid, except for if you are using multi-layer switch. You ever heard of multi-layer switch? You ever heard of multi-layer switch? Or sometimes they call it as core switch in industry, where it's actually combining layer number 2 and layer number 3 capability. Alright? So that's the reason why whatever it is, you cannot compare and contrast your network with other people's network and also even with APU network. Because we need to understand the infrastructure first. If the infrastructure is exactly the same, then we expect the same performance, right? Okay, and even different provider also might actually be different. Yes, Abir, we can have wireless switch. That's the thing that we will learn next week in wireless infrastructure. Okay? All right. So first, this week we understand first the nature, of these all. We call it the requirements for every layers. What needs to be there in network, so that you still remember. I don't want later on when you do your assignment you forgot that certain devices is very important in network because it represents the OSI model itself. Okay, just review, just to refresh. I'm not sure who is your intro to networking lecturers. I'm not sure who are your networks and networking lecturer before, and who is your basic networks lecturers before in other university or other institution. Right, but for sure, if you already learned intro to network, this one easily for you to remember. Am I right? So how to remember it? No need to force yourself. There's a way to remember it. Some of you using all people seem to need data processing, and you have other way as well. Even you have your own language as well to remember this. No issue. Whatever it is, the technique, make sure you still remember the layers. All right. Why is it important? Because you're going to analyze. You're going to analyze the wireless infrastructure available in certain site later on when it comes to your assignment. All right. And even when you want to identify the problems and even what's the way to deploy, to mitigate the problem, all right, to deploy the solution, you need to understand all the requirements of this layer to see is it necessary to come up with such deployment. All right. So no issue. Please remember all this layer. Just to refresh you again. Physical, if we look at physical layer, basically it's all more on transmission media. When I said transmission media, it can be both. Either it's guided and also unguided. Guided is wired and unguided is wireless. And why is it physical layer involve bits as protocol data unit? All right, means why is it deals with bits? Because it preparing the bits to be travel, to be transmit through the medium, either wired or wireless. All right. Okay. Next one, data link layer. When it comes to IEEE technology, when I said about IEEE technology for network students, I still remember because I graduate as a, my degree is in network. So my lecturer will not torture lah. We as a network students that time, IEEE 802.1, what is it? IEEE 802.2, what is it? IEEE 802.3, what is it? IEEE, 802.5, etc., etc. But for your case, yeah, it's good enough if you can remember the common one, the common protocol, such as IEEE 802.3, that is Ethernet. Ethernet means consists of fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, right? Okay, hold on. There's one statement mentioned by Mohin. Switch is like a power supply extension, bro. You will need, yes, you're right. You're right, Mohin. Switch is like a power supply extension. So you need a switch to supply one source to multiple source. Correct. Because switch, based on what Mohin says, a switch is actually having a repeater capability. That's the thing. Some of us might think, miss, why? Why we are not using repeater? Because repeater functions of features is already there together with the switch. Okay, together with the switch. All right. Next one. So proceed. So data link layer, that's why it's very important for you to understand different protocol like IEEE 802.3, that is Ethernet, 802.11, that is wireless LAN. WLAN we call it. Sometimes, in full is wireless LAN or WLAN. Yeah, we don't mention it as WLAN. WLAN. All right. It's actually having a specific functions in this data link layer. Why? Because this data link layer is actually divided into two sub-layer. Am I right? Two sub-layer, that is, anyone still recall what are the sub-layer for data link layer? Anyone still recall? Or you can just type in the meeting chat, what are the two sub-layers of data link layer? Data link layer only divided based on these two sub-layer for IEEE technology. Why is it so special? Because different technology, IEEE organization looking at different technology have different access method. And also different way on how it works. Yeah, correct or not? Different requirements. Yes, very good, Abir. We are having medium access control layer and logical link control. Okay, the answer is media access control. That is MAC and LLC, logical link control. All right, that's the answer, class. All right, thank you very much for those who participate. All right, and you have to understand logical link control and MAC is actually differentiate different IEEE technology. All right, you already learned it before. So please remember, why is it we still need to have this in our module implementation? Because wireless will have different technology, such as what technology? We have IEEE 802.16. We have IEEE 802.15. 15 is personal area network. And if you look at personal area network, it even have 802.15 for Bluetooth. And even for Zigbee. We will learn that. That's why it's very important for you to recall what you learn about data link layer. And even wireless LAN access method. Anyone still remember what is the access method? What is the access method or access protocol for wireless LAN? If Ethernet is CSMA/CD, right? Ethernet is CSMA/CD. Carrier sends multiple assays with collision detections. But if it's wireless LAN, anyone? What is the access method for wireless LAN? Access method for wireless LAN, anyone? Very good, David. Yes, it's CSMA/CA. carrier sends multiple access with collisions avoidance. That's why the concept in wireless we are using half duplex rather than full duplex. We are using half duplex rather than full duplex. But then remember, when I said half duplex rather than full duplex, how we can improve this in wireless networks? That's why we are using optical fiber or fiber optic in order to allow what we call it MIMO, multiple in and multiple out concept, because it will improve the nature of half duplex in wireless network. All right, okay, so proceed. Next one, network layer. All right, this one, which device? Oh yeah, I forgot. For physical layer, we will look more at devices like hub, repeater, am I right? And even cabling infrastructure to be connected to one physical layer to another physical layer. It means that we will connect the cable infrastructure of physical layer sender to the physical layer of the receiver. All right. And another one, data link layer, we will have a device of switch. Am I right? Switch. That's the reason why, all right, in industry, we have this called layer 2 switch, layer 3 switch. But then layer 3 switch is not fully router. It's actually having a little bit of switch, a little bit of router. And when it comes to network layer, of course, the device is more on router. Yeah, or the symbol of router is actually, I forgot my digital pen. Right, the symbol of router normally like this, circle and then X. Right, okay. And for this network layer, you have to understand the difference between data link layer. If data link layer concern more on access method and also concern more on MAC addressing. Because switch only do forwarding and learning process, right? But router is more on to deal with IP addressing. When it deal with IP addressing, of course, the nature of dealing with private IP address and also public IP address. What is private IP address? What is public IP address? I hope you all still remember, where every router should have a capability of doing NAT, network address translation. Am I right? Network address translation in order to convert private IP address to public IP address in order to ensure the PDU to travel to other remote network or to other subnets. All right. So it's more intelligence in to ensure the packet to travel within optimal route, right? But although I said router in this network layer is smart, even switch also smart. Switch smarts in order to learn on its own, all right? Router cannot learn on its own. That's why we need to configure router for what? For the routing. Remember, static routing, dynamic routing. Okay. Next one, transport layer. For transport layer, we deal on port addressing. We have different port, right? Different port address related to different application, because this transport layer will ensure all the packets to go to the correct port in order for it to provide a correct service based on different application. That's why whatever layer after this, like session, presentation, and also application, more on the user side, where it's actually falls into readiness of using certain application within network, right? So transport layer will ensure all the packets that already travel from different path to be gathered, to be reassembled, right? So that it can directly to the correct port. Yeah, to the correct port, which will serve different application. All right. And if happen to be the packets will be lost, of course the settlement will happen at this layer first. It's not going to go on the session presentation, etc., because that one is already near to the user. All right, settlements more on these sites to ensure all the packets have been reassembled in a proper sequence, as well as there's no loss happen. All right. All right. Session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. If in TCP/IP model, is just as one layer, that is application. But in OSI model, all right, session layer looking at how the conversations, yeah, between different application, between application to be maintained, means that two different application on the sender side and on the receiver side to be maintained. Yeah. And then for presentation is more on how the data to be present, such as correct format like JPEG, PNG, for example, even when the details for call this encryptions, yeah, encryptions. And last but not least, application. Of course, this is the time where, yeah, different services will be served to the client, depends on what kind of services, either it's from email servers, either it's from web servers, either it is from DHCP servers, and etc. Right? So that's about it for OSI model review. Any question before we move on to the devices? Any question before we move on to the devices? No, currently? Okay. All right. So I hope you all still recall these layers, and that's the reason why as well for your introduction, IN, for your IN introductions to network, as well as for your networks and networking module before. All right, you learn it in separate chapter. Yeah, why we want you to learn it in separate chapter? Because we want you to learn it in details. Why to learn in detail? So that you can apply it in whatever modules related to network, related to wireless, related to security as well. Okay. All right, next one. Devices. As I mentioned to you, repeater and hub, which layer? Repeater and hub related to which layer in OSI model? Repeater and hub. Anyone related to which layer in OSI? Hub and repeater. Anyone? Which layer? Which layer should I call up? Dafa here or not? Dafa.
Physical layer?
Yes, miss.
Dafa. Okay, Abir answer physical. Howard answer the second one. How about you, Dafa? Is it hub and repeater? Which layer? Related to which layer? Hub and repeater.
Hub and repeater?
Which layer do you think? Related. It perform the functions related to which layer? Which layer of OSI model?
Is it from the data link layer, miss?
Data link layer. All right. Thank you very much, Dafa. All right. So Abir answer physical layer. Howard answer data link layer. Even Dafa also answered data link layer. All right. Can we have another one more students? Let me call up. How about Zeng Hong answer physical layer? All right. How about Aiko? Aiko, what do you think? Is it physical layer, data link layer, or other layer? Aiko here or not?
Yes, miss.
Okay, Aiko, what do you think? Is it physical layer or data link layer for repeater and hub?
I think it's physical.
Physical. All right. Thank you, Aiko. Okay. Thank you very much, Zeng Hong, and then Alfonso and Lai Chihing, as well as Nico. Right. Thank you for all your answer. Right. It's okay to make mistake. it's okay to make mistake. For me, if you're not making mistake in my class, if you're not making mistake in your class, in my class, it means that you're already perfect. You know, if you're already perfect, okay. So what you need to do, you should also present. You should also teach. Yeah, you should also teach or participate in our class to teach your friends. Actually, I don't mind. I know some of you is also having a good knowledge in networks. Why? Networks is everywhere. It depends on you how to cope with it. All right. So that's why I really appreciate some of you helping each other. If someone confused or what, you're helping each other to answer. No problem. All right. Okay, class. From all of your answers, it shows that not everyone come up with the same answer. Right? Some of you physical, transport, data link, and even some of you just keep quiet because you're not sure. All right? So the answer is you need to understand how hub and repeater works. How is it hub and repeater work? You have to understand first. I still remember my intro to network lecturer said hub is not as good as switch. You still remember or not? Hub is not as good as switch, right? Because hub actually can perform similar function like repeater where it's just forward. Am I right? Without doing any error checking, correct or not? So if without doing any error checking, just forward, just strengthen the signal, boost the signal. Okay, we cannot put it together in the same layer with switch, because switch is not only forwarding, it's not only broadcasting. Switch also will do error checking, right? Switch will do error checking, and that's the reason why, if you really understand the nature of protocol data unit of data link layer, protocol data unit of data link layer, that is, what is PDU for data link layer? Another question. PDU for data link layer. Anyone? PDU for data link layer. What this lecturer asked? I don't understand. What is PDU? Later I give answer. What is PDU for data link layer? PDU. Someone asked me again, Miss, what is PDU? Never mind, you just make a guess. Anyone? All right. If PDU for physical layer is bits, how about PDU for data link layer? Yes, the full name is protocol data units. You're right, Jin Yong. So if PDU for physical layer is bits, how about data link layer? What is PDU for data link layer? If physical layer bits, data link layer is what? Very good, Dafa. Yes, frames. Yes, very good, Nico. Very good, David. Yes, frames. Yeah, data, Jin Yong, data or message normally at application layer. All right? So this protocol data unit or data, if in application layer, we call it as message. All right? If physical layer, we call it as bits. If data link layer, we call it as frames. If network layers, we call it as packets. If transport layer, we have two. Either it is segments or user datagram. Depends on which protocol, either TCP or UDP. All right? If session layer, presentation layer, and application layer is all we call as message. What is that? Now I know. Okay, all right. This is one example provided by Mohi. I'm not sure either it's a joke or what, but it's actually, you can see the understanding, all right, about hub. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mohin. But not everyone can understand what Mohin typed there or shared there if you do not understand what is hub. All right. So here, as I mentioned just now, hub and repeater cannot do error control, cannot do error control. It just forwarding. And that's the reason why even the error also being forwarded. So if there's a problem, also being forwarded. That's why we cannot put we cannot put hub and repeater together with switch. So the answer is hub and repeater is in a physical layer, right? While switch in data link layer because of the nature of error control. And if you look at the beautifulness or the beauty of frame compared to other protocol unit, only frame having a tail, having a trailer. Why? Because the trailer is actually consists the error part, the error control part. I don't expect you to remember all the format, but I just want you to remember the important one or the unique one or the unique format about the protocol data unit so that you can relate with the functions. All right? Okay, proceed. Next one. All right. So, no need for me to explain what is repeater, what is hub. You already learned it before. It's just that need to refresh. Switch also, please refresh and why I said it belongs to data link layer, alright. And router also, please refresh and why is it I explain it's related to network layer. And again, the difference between switch and router, switch able to learn on its own, but router you need to configure the routes, am I right? Even if you connect PC with switch, right, you just need to give IP address, or even you don't give IP address also, no issue. You realize or not when you use packet tracer, you connect PC to switch, suddenly got green already. You realize or not? Remember or not? When you use packet tracer, you connect PC with switch, the line is already green signal, right? You can see green signal already. Because switch learns on its own, You don't need to include IP address, no issue. It will get the connection. But if you connect the PC with router, oh my God, it will red. The signal will be red all the time, forever. Forever it will be red. No, Abir, you cannot say it. No. Normally we never come up with that understanding. Okay. Because why, Abir? You have to understand. Router maintains its routing table. Okay. Router maintain its own routing table. So when it's maintained its own, hold on. Okay, so it's maintain routing table, right? So when it's maintain the routing table, router will decide, which interface it will go in order to transmit it to different remote network. All right. And even when you learn how to configure router for level 2 degree, if I'm not mistaken, only certain modules, certain specialism like security, forensic, you will learn SRE, switch and routing configuration for enterprises. That one, you can see how smart is router because we can configure it for optimal path. Yeah. And it can be provided with different protocol like OSPF and etc. All right, switch smart in terms of learns on its own, right? And that's the reason why router is not learns on its own. It need to be configured. The routing table need to be configured. All right, need to be provide the details. Yeah, provided with the details. And that's the reason why as well, when we connect PC with router, we need to assign IP address to the PC, and also another thing, that is default gateway. Remember or not about default gateway? Remember or not about default gateway? You all remember about default gateway, right? Default gateway, if you don't include it in the PC IP configuration, it cannot be connected to the router. Same goes to All right, same goes to whatever devices within the same network. Yeah, within the same network. All right, it's very important. If it's need to be connected to the router, default gateway information will be important. All right, if you still got question, please ask. Next one. TCP/IP, I already talked about it just now. You already understand what are the 4 layers for TCP/IP, but also it's actually reflect the same thing in the what we call this in OSA model. And then for this segment datagram, segment is what? Segment is the protocol data unit for transport layer. That is for TCP. Datagram is a protocol data unit for transport layer as well, but only for UDP. Frame is the protocol data unit for, yes, data link layer. So I hope you still remember frame is to be provided with MAC address, segment and datagram to be provided with port addresses, while packet in network layer will be provided with IP address, yeah, or network address. Okay, so I hope you still remember how the process of encapsulation and decapsulations going on. You all still remember encap and decapsulation. Let me just type encapsulation versus decapsulation. Anyone still remember? All right. So my first question, which process happened on the sender side? Which process happened on the sender side? Sender sites means sender devices. Is it encap or decap for sender? Anyone? Very good. Kelvin, very good. Alan, yes, it's encapsulation. Because on the sender side, yeah, encap. Because on the sender side, we have message sent by the sender without anything. Now we're going to encap, put the cap, encap, wearing cap. So add on header before can be transmit on the receiver side. All right, very good. So most of you actually still having a good, fresh knowledge in your mind. So thanks to your intro to networks lecturer, or for our diploma student, thanks to your networks and networking lecturer, we're able to provide a good knowledge for all of you so that you can have a good fundamental in order for you to apply in other modules related to networks. All right, so basically you already understand, yeah, what are the basic concepts of network and how is it the models, the standard models, either it is OSI, either it is TCP/IP, related to the different network devices. And from here as well, why is it you understand it's related to different network devices? Because of it's related to different functions performed by different layers. And of course, in networks books or any material or resources, you may actually come across with different terms like segment, datagram, frame, packets, right? Messages. So all of these terms is actually no issue for you, because when they mention segments, you can imagine as already what function is it related to, what features is it related to. All right, so same thing, please maintain the knowledge so that when we start to learn on different technology of mobile and wireless, how it works, what's the architecture behind it, and how it able to mitigate and also to solve the problem of certain given scenario, you understand, yeah, because of the nature of certain technology and also certain networks requirement. Any question? All right, if you got question, please ask. All right. Yes. Actually, Howard, last time when I taught my fundamental students related to network, I use the word in cap and decap. In cap means, you know, en, in. In is something like you wear cap, in cap. So in cap, that's why you add on header, preparing to add, you know, wrapping. Yes, like wrapping. But my concept is wearing cap, you know, you want to prepare it to go out. You know, when you want to go out, you need to wear cap. And then when you reach the destination, you want to decap. You know, you remove the head, you remove the cap one by one. So that's how I taught my fundamental network students. But your concept of wrapping paper also, yes, is correct. Yeah, is correct. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Howard. All right. Next week, week number 3, we will start to focus more on the infrastructure devices. When I said infrastructure devices, so example like access point. So we have autonomous, lightweight, mesh access point, different type of access point. And then we also learn about wireless router, wireless bridge, wireless repeater, and wireless switch. The one that asked by one of your friends just now, they are wireless switch or not? Yes, they are. These are the things that we will learn next week. All right. So I'm going to shed something. Because we still got time. I will use the quiz platform. But before that, hold on. Let me just share here. No need for you to download. No need for you to download. No need for you to sign up. No issue. Yeah, no issue. Even you can use whatever name you want. No issue. For me, no issue. I'm not actually want to look which student getting high marks. No, I'm concerned more on everyone doing it. That's first thing. When everyone doing it, is it everyone can pass or not? If everyone can pass, means you're gaining something. If not everyone pass, it could be due to 2 reasons. Maybe internet connections, and another one maybe due to still do not understand what being taught in class today. So maybe I need to explain more. All right? Okay. So that's the thing. I want to have this activity in place so that I can identify which area that majority of the students still don't understand. All right. So you hold on first. Let me share the link. All right. Only 11 or 10 questions. Okay. No issue. All right. No issue. Only 11 or 10 questions. Just hold on. I need to copy paste something. Hold on. Just hold on. Okay. Hold on. And then the link. Oops. All right. Okay, I will display it. Where is it? Okay. So is a is a simple quiz about review core concept. All right, review of the core concept. Okay, I will start a live quiz, but it will be at your own pace. When I said at your own pace, you do within this class time, but not necessary you must start at the same time. Some of you will start late, some of you start, fast, right? Depends on your internet connections as well, all right? So hold on, name factory. Quiz. Mana? Show answer, yes. Show after, yes. Adaptive, show leaderboard. Okay. So I will display it on my screen as well. I will turn off my camera to allocate better bandwidth. I share the screen now. Okay, you can see, right? Join my quiz, right? Okay. So no issue. If I already started, right? I can copy paste this. Okay. I copy paste in the meeting chat the code to join, and also the link I copy paste in the meeting chat. Hold on. Right click, copy link. Some of you is already there. Okay. So the code is 015553. All right. As I mentioned, you can use your own name, random name, no issue, no issue. Yeah. It's just for me to identify, is it everyone understand or not? I'm not looking at one students. Yeah. All right. So don't worry if I studied not everyone day yet, because you can always start a little bit late, no issue. This is one thing I like better on quiz compared to Kahoot. Like Kahoot, everyone must be there, then we need to start. All right. And another thing, Kahoot, you cannot have many times attempt. But this one, you can have many times attempt. And also another thing, there are more. I can see better features of this quiz compared to the other Kahoot environment. But it's like Kahoot as well. Yeah, not so much. And another thing, when we settle this later on, when I discuss the answer, we can do immediately how many students able to answer within certain time. That's a wonderful part about it as well, right? So currently 48 of you, but looking at the students' numbers, it's not everyone there yet, right? Because students that attended class today is we're having 57, all right? 57. So another 7 students, you join, try to join, all right? Try to join first. We give another 2 minutes, then we'll start. 11:50, then we'll start. Okay, we give 2 minutes. 11:50, we'll start, because I'm expecting 57 students. All right, 57 students, but now we are having 52. All right, another 1 minute. Okay, another 1 minute. You all see this one, only one dot as a name. This one only one. Okay, no problem, no problem. All right, at least we have fun while learning. Okay, I'll start now. All right, class. Let us go through the answer one by one. Right, congratulations, but class accuracy is 54%. It means that still a good number, all right. The most important thing is to review the question, all right, because I want to see how many of you actually can answer all the question and how many of you actually not able. Oh my god, the first question is already the toughest one. Actually, why the toughest one? Because because not everyone able to get it right. If you can see here, only 21 students can answer the question, all right? And if you look at the option, yeah, by right, when we talk about encryption, I think not everyone concentrate while I'm teaching just now. I did mention about JPEG, PNG, encryption in the presentation layer, all right? So never mind, yeah, still some of you are able to answer it, all right? Proceed. And then this is another feature about quiz platform that I like because we can actually see the analytical data about how the performance for based on overall numbers. Okay, very good. Most of you got this right, although not everyone got it right yet. IP. IP is IP address, right? IP address, of course, it is network layer. Network layer, IP, Internet Protocol, IP. IP version 4, IP version 6, that is network layer. All right, next one. Which layer handles the formatting of the application? Readable. Okay, readable. But don't look at the word readable. The most important thing, formatting of application data. This one obviously is presentation because we talk about JPEG. Just now, right? And then packets, of course, network, but not everyone able to answer it yet. Yeah. Okay, proceed. All right, packets is the PDU for network layer. All right. Next one, routers operate at which layer? Network. But majority of you got it right. Yeah, I hope the rest maybe you accidentally answered it. All right. Okay, next one. Bits are packaged into frame. Packaged into frames. When we talk about frames, of course, it's data link layer. Don't look only at bits and answer physical. Understand the question first. Okay, next one. Which layer divided the sublayer? Of course, data link. Right? So I believe quarter of the students' number maybe don't understand what being taught in the class just now. Okay, please refresh again your knowledge, your class. And then what is PDU? PDU for transport. Transport, we have two, either segment or datagram. But there's no datagram answer here, so you can answer just segment. Next one, what is PDU for the physical layer in OSI model? So the answer is bits. Physical is bits. Okay, and then next one, what a chat conversation between two people, right? And their conversation managed and synchronized. When we talk about between sender and receiver, of course, session layer. And the last question, IEEE for data link layer. Define wireless LAN as 802.11. This one quite common. I just want to see how many of you are aware or not. Right, but not everyone aware. Ethernet 802.3. Token bus 802.4. This one is WiMAX. Okay. All right. Any question? Any question before I proceed with attendance? Any questions? All right. Before I proceed with attendance, let me just, in case Since not everyone able to answer correctly, so I'm giving a homework, same thing, or practice. Try to do the question again. Right, same question. It's the same question. It's the same question, but I treat it like homework. Homework. Wait, I copy paste first. Okay, this is the code. Wait, I cannot type. Alright, hold on. Code is 599502. Okay, this is the link. Okay. Right, this one is homework. For those who are not able to get 100 marks or not able to get all correct just now, some of you still confused, please do proper revision. Revise back what you learned and try again the quiz on your own, at your own pace. It's like a homework platform, all right? But same question, I did not change it. Okay, so after the attendance, go back to the attendance. Because there are 5 or 7 students just now, all right, still not yet able to take your attendance. Alfonso, I saw his name just now, right? Okay, who else? And then, Wei Xiang here or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. You understand, right, Wei Xiang, what being taught today?
Yes, I understand.
Then next one, Dustin here or not? Dustin? How should I pronounce? Dustin Nurlan. Not here. Okay, next one. Mohin here. Mizuki? Mizuki here? No. All right. Soma here? Let me check the meeting chat. You can say yes in the meeting chat. If you feel shy to on your mic, no problem. You can just type your name, say yes in the meeting chat. So no, Soma. Sutesh? Sutesh here or not? Sutesh, Noah. All right. Next one. Okay, that's about it. So Sutesh not here. Soma not here. All right. So Mizuki not here. Dustin not here. So 4 of them. Okay. So in case if you know them, please convey my message to them. They can communicate personally with me. All right. To go through the video and get back to me if they need the attendance. All right, class, that's about it for today. All right. If you do not have any question, right, that's about it for today. Happy Malaysian Day for Malaysian students. All right, tomorrow is public holiday, no class tomorrow. All right, see you all again on Friday for our tutorial class. All right, for our tutorial class. All right, till then, class, stay safe, take care, bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome.
Thank you, Miss. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss.
you, Miss.
Thank you, man.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye-bye.